Imagine a machine so strange, so far beyond its time, that even the CIA chased its secrets decades later. They called it Die Glocke, the bell. I'll be honest, this story has intrigued me for years. You hear it in rumors, in old archives, podcasts, authors, and in conspiracy forums everywhere. And with all the recent headlines about UFOs and UAPs, I can't shake the thought, maybe this isn't new at all. Maybe what we're seeing today began decades ago. A bell-shaped device the Nazis allegedly built in their final desperate days. A machine that scorched the earth, defied physics, and vanished into legend, only to reappear in declassified files years later. Was it a weapon? A portal? Or humanity's first step into a technology we were never meant to have? This is the story of Die Glocke, the Nazi bell. The bell didn't reach the public until 2000, when Polish author Igor Witkowski published The Truth About the Wunderwaffe, meaning wonder or miracle weapons. He claimed to have seen a classified affidavit from SS General Jakob Sporenberg, describing a top-secret Nazi device. The names tied to it? Terrifying. Werner von Braun, the rocket scientist who later led NASA's Apollo program, and Hans Kammler, the shadowy SS general overseeing the Reich's most advanced weapons during World War II. Witkowski said the bell was tested at an underground facility near the Wenceslaus mine, modern-day Poland, around 1944. Its alleged purpose? To bend space, maybe even time. The project's codename was Project Chronos, and at the helm was Hans Kammler. By war's end, Kammler mysteriously vanished, along with his secrets. Journalist Nick Cook described the bell as a massive, counter-rotating machine glowing violet. At its core, a mercury-like substance called Cerium-525, rumoured to create plasma anti-gravity or warp spacetime. And here's where it gets weird. In the 1960s, NASA quietly tested Mercury propulsion systems under the SERT-1 and 2 programs, officially scrapped because of toxicity. Coincidence? Or the shadow of something older? Other accounts describe 2 counter-rotating cylinders filled with Cerium-525 mixed with thorium and beryllium. The result? High-energy plasma that emitted deadly radiation. Scientists reportedly suffered insomnia, dizziness, and even death. The environment fared no better because of horrifying side effects. Plants within 200 meters shriveled into a jelly-like green sludge. Animals mutated or died outright. After tests, there was lingering smell of an acrid ozone left in the air. It was said that entire test sites were scorched clean, the land poisoned by something not of this world. For decades, skeptics dismissed it as folklore, until the documents surfaced. Declassified State Department and National Archives reports confirm that captured German records were catalogued in detail, including advanced propulsion and energy experiments. While the files don't name Die Glocke outright, they prove the Allies were aware of and actively investigating Nazi Wunderwaffe technologies in 1945 and beyond. References to unconventional energy sources and experimental propulsion systems, the language, radiation hazards, mercury plasma, field displacement, references all too similar to Die Glocke. After the war, America launched Operation Paperclip, smuggling over 1,600 Nazi scientists into the US. Officially, they built rockets. Unofficially, their names also surface in classified propulsion and exotic energy research. The US understood that future space missions will require propulsion systems with performance far beyond what is currently available. Non-chemical and advanced propulsion concepts are being investigated to meet these requirements. Not rockets, not chemical fuels, advanced propulsion, and anti-gravity. Also, later on in the mid-1970s, another document openly mentions plasma-based systems and other exotic methods of thrust generation. Exotic propulsion. And 3 decades earlier, the Nazis were allegedly spinning mercury plasma in Die Glocke's core. Coincidence? Maybe. And here's where it gets even more interesting. The CIA classified these efforts as vital to national security. Their own words: the development of advanced propulsion technologies is vital for maintaining national security in future space operations. You don't stamp national security on a science experiment unless you found something that changes the game. From Nazi legends of mercury-driven engines to CIA papers on exotic propulsion, the line isn't straight, but it's there. And like any good cover-up, it's hidden in plain sight, buried in the language of bureaucracy and national security. So, if Die Glocke was real, Paperclip may have carried it straight into America's black projects. And then we circle back to Hans Kammler, an important figure because he oversaw V-2 rockets, underground facilities, and, allegedly, the Bell. Yet he never stood trial at Nuremberg. He simply disappeared. Here are 4 theories about what happened to Kammler. Theory 1. He committed suicide. Official German reports claimed Kammler killed himself in May 1945, either by gunshot or cyanide. The problem? No body, no photographs, and no consistent testimony. How convenient. Theory 2. He was captured by the Soviets. Some accounts suggest Kammler was seized by the Red Army and disappeared into Soviet black projects. And we know the Soviets were aggressively hunting Nazi propulsion experts. But again, no hard evidence. Theory 3. From our end, a possible US deal. This is the big one. Some historians argue Kammler cut a secret deal with the US trading his life for technology. Declassified OSS memos mention the capture of high-ranking SS officers in Kammler's area of operations who were provided with paperwork to be brought to the US. Here's the thing. This FOIA release on Operation Paperclip only outlines logistics, how the scientists were brought into the US under military contract, how the FBI was instructed not to interfere. No names appear, not even Werner von Braun or Hans Kammler, which means either he was scrubbed or protected. It's as if the program is a ghost story, and every identity remains classified. And lastly, Theory 4. He escaped. The most sensational theory claims Kammler faked his death, then vanished into a US or South American safe haven. His absence from Nuremberg makes this one especially suspicious. Whichever it was, Kammler pulled off the greatest ninja vanish in our modern history. Besides being on the verge of cutting-edge technology, the Bell wasn't just engineering, it was ideology. Their research division, the Ahnenerbe, was a hybrid of scientific institute and occult think tank. What they did? They scoured the globe, from Tibet to South America to Mesopotamia, searching for hidden primal energy sources. They were obsessed with Vril energy, a mythical force said to reshape reality itself. It was believed they were allegedly mapping hollow Earth regions and collecting esoteric knowledge. Although modern historians like Isra and Engelhardt have decisively debunked the myth that SS expeditions to Tibet, like Ernst Schaefer's in 1938-39, were occult in nature, the records show it was a scientific mission. Zoology, botany, anthropology, not some mystical quest. As for Project Chronos, Project Time, if Die Glocke existed, it may not have been a weapon, but a doorway. According to reports, Die Glocke contained 2 massive, counter-rotating cylinders spinning Zerum 525 at impossible speeds, creating a torsion field, a vortex in space-time. Imagine the gravitron ride from the county fair, the one that glued you to the wall as a kid. Only instead of cotton candy and bad decisions, this one promised anti-gravity, radiation poisoning, and possibly the keys to space-time. Nearby villagers from the neighboring town of Ludwikowice Kłodzkie described eerie bluish-violet pulses in the night sky. Strange convoys, a low metallic hum across the valley. Radiation killed 5 of the 7 scientists, and during long test runs, witnesses claimed the Bell blurred, as if slipping in and out of phase. Now let's fast forward to 1965. Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. Locals report a UFO crash. Witnesses describe a metallic acorn-shaped object, eerily similar to Die Glocke. The military moved in quickly, sealed the site, trucks rolled in, and the craft disappeared into classified custody. Officially, a meteor. Unofficially, something far stranger. Witnesses swore it was the bell, or something built from its blueprint. And where would such blueprints have gone? Maybe it could have been the bell, or it was the flying saucer tech that the Germans were working on during World War II. This was a clue, because many Allied pilots during World War II reported sightings of unidentified aerial phenomena known as Foo Fighters. Allied intelligence sometimes suspected these were advanced German aircraft, but investigations did not confirm they were disc-shaped or otherworldly, so they say. In one instance, a German engineer named Georg Klein reported that the flying saucer reached an altitude of 12,400 meters within 3 minutes and a speed of 2,200 kilometers per hour. Klein, who claimed ties to Albert Speer, said that Speer himself witnessed a test flight in Prague on February 14, 1945. According to the report, 3 such saucer prototypes existed by 1944, building on a wartime vision that could have reshaped aeronautics, if not lost to history. The CIA took these claims seriously enough to preserve the report in its archives, a clear mark of how post-war US intelligence actively tracked German advanced thought experiments. After the war, the US didn't just archive these files, it recruited many German scientists through Operation Paperclip. Meanwhile, CIA and DIA memos from the Cold War reference mercury plasma propulsion and field displacement, language that sounds ripped from Glocke experiments. Some believe the bell was dismantled and rebuilt under US black projects, rebranded into UFO research programs like Project Blue Book, or even the Pentagon's modern AATIP. Others argue it never left Europe, sealed away in mines, buried like a Pandora's box, too dangerous to open. And then there's the wildest theory of all. Maybe it worked. Maybe the bell didn't just vanish from history. Maybe it vanished from time. From the ruins of the Third Reich to the classified vaults of the CIA, the bell has become more than just a wartime legend. It's a mirror reflecting our deepest suspicions about hidden technology. Was Die Glocke truly a Nazi superweapon? A time-bending machine that slipped into the hands of US intelligence? Or simply a story inflated by rumor and redacted files? Here's the thing. The legend refuses to die. And that persistence alone makes you wonder, was this the blueprint? The stepping stone that carried us from crude rockets in 1945 to tic-tac, shaped craft darting across Navy radar screens today. If so, it raises a chilling thought. Maybe the bell never disappeared at all. Maybe it just evolved, hidden under new projects, new names, and new budgets. Of course, it could all just be coincidence. But as history has shown us, coincidence has a funny way of filing FOIA requests. So, in the end, Die Glocke remains what it's always been. Part myth, part machine, and part warning. Thanks for watching. Support the channel by hitting the like and subscribe button so I can continue keeping you curious. Until the next one, remember to stay curious.